Let's start.
Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat, right here on Prime FM 105.5. Today's Wednesday. And of course, I'm sure the show will be very interesting tonight. You know, every day there are a couple of trending issues, issues of importance, and of course, the issues, that are discussable. And so tonight, my panelists are coming in gradually. And of course, we're going to have a splendid good time. Let's see, our condolences to Lakma, Liberian gospel musicians. You know, they lost their president today. When we saw the video, some of us were so broken because we know the president of LACMA. I know her very well. I've seen her perform. Our condolences to LACMA and all government, all gospel musicians. So let's say our condolences to you. And of course, we are all mourning because she's our friend and sister as well. Well, tonight we're going to have a very interesting discussion. The Ministry of Justice has officially confirmed new drug busts. And of course, the minister put the street value at over 300 million. So you see, so what does it mean, for the image of our country, for a huge quantity of this nature to be discovered? But what is it turning Liberia into? We're going to talk about that tonight. My panelists and I. Well, Finda Bondo has been released, right? Yes. In fact, we're going to bring you the video of the celebrant. So men, women, children, all celebrating the release of Finda Bondo after her lawyer took a flight to the Supreme Court. The same day they took a flight, the same day Finda has been released. And so we're going to talk about that tonight on the program. There are reactions, many, multiple reactions. In fact, most of the reactions are coming from the CDC cycle. Reactions to Samuel Tue planned retrial. They say, well, they don't think that should happen. Kali answered the call. You don't think that should happen. And so a couple of reactions are coming up. We're going to talk about them, Well, Monserrato County Representative Sumo Morba is under intense criticism by some of his people in his districts. We've been trying to get in touch with him. We're hoping that we can establish contact with him because it's quite serious. We're going to play a video, where his people were very critical of him. That's a small Molba. On this program, we're going to play video from his districts. And if time permits, we're going to talk about the drama at the University of Liberia. The Alpha, said, well, they don't want the administration. They are not quite happy. They are not quite pleased with the administration. And so we're going to talk about that as well in the program tonight. Tonight promises to be very interesting. We are streaming live as usual on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat, just 3 words. You're going to watch the show online and enjoy the show as well. Also, we are streaming live on the Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. That's the platform for Prime FM, but we are streaming live on that platform. So if you wish to watch the show out on our YouTube and our Facebook page, that's the Nighttime Heat. You can watch it. If you wish to on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5, you can also watch the show online. Well, it's 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let me try to welcome my panelists who are here for now. I know the rest of the other panelists are on their way. Let me welcome Mr. David Benedictus Rasmussen down with Tagba. David is nearing receiving his award. In fact, I was so shocked when I drove in. No, I didn't drive in today. I didn't bring car today. I got on Keke. And so when I came here, I saw Dave. Dave was sitting at about 5 o'clock in the compound of the radio station. So, Dave, you should get your award. You're very dedicated and committed. Dave, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sabot. And I reserve comments on your. I reserve comments, and I'd like to say good evening to everyone, including my own man Wion and our other colleagues who are expected soon. I'd like to say hi to Moses, who's somewhere in the United States, and all our viewers and listeners. Hope that we have a wonderful time on the show.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Thank you, and we're going to applaud you continuously for your commitment and dedication, Dave. Really can just unimaginable for a man like David Talbot to be all. Someone was asking me today. I think John Sheriff. He said, "Man, what happened every time you're on David's back?" And I said, "No, he's my brother, man. But the guy doesn't want to get married. He still got a girlfriend around." Okay, let me welcome Desmond William quickly. Desmond William, rather. Desmond, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. Good evening, and pleasant good evening to all of our followers, viewers as well from our different, live fields. It's great to be back. Access to information is constitutional right, inherited in our constitution upon all citizens. So this is what we love doing best as journalists for our country. Like the famous quotation there from from the U.S. one of the U.S. presidents, that it's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So it's great to be back, and I look forward to having a very interesting conversation as always.
Good. Let's welcome Moses Sandy, our diaspora panelist. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sova. Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Trying to squeeze myself in, and I apologize, guys. I'm not on campus. I may be able something, but I'll try to make a little bit of time to be here with you guys today. So it's always a pleasure. Let me say hi to Mr. Progress, Mr. Will, Mr. George, and our technical crew. I know George and Root. And I saw the notice from the front left. I think I'm able to be here today. But whatever the situation is, I want to wish everyone well. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Moses. Really appreciate your commitment that you've brought to this discourse, and also your level of probity, my man. Very honest. You always regular on the program. We really appreciate that. Let's welcome, I know he has to catch his breath, but I'm sure he has done it already. George Kennedy of the National Port Authority, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Why you added the Port Authority? Why you decided to add the Port Authority? No.
And I want to.
Man, you know what happened to that NPA?
What happened?
If I want to discuss it,
even before
the NPA are coming up. Let me just announce.
No, you call the entity, and I'm going to announce it. I'm going to be the one announcing it. So as of today, there is no more contractors.
No, there's no more contractors.
So those who were there, nearly 400 of them have been regularized. And so that's why you call rescue.
Yeah, surely. No,
that's the true definition of rescue.
Yeah, rescue Honor Dukley. Rescue Honor Dukley.
Dukley didn't get a job by himself. So
Dukley, thank you, my man. I think you did a stream.
Never speak without telling you say thank you for the president.
I've welcomed
you. Anyway.
Yeah, I've welcomed you already. Let me commend Dukley. When I read that and I'm in a chat room that he's also part of, and I read that and I said, wow, that's good. We really appreciate this. The fact that all the contractors at the National Port Authority can have a job now, no more contractor status. I really appreciate that. And Dukley work. Thank you very much. We will continue to hold in high esteem. We'll continue. Anytime the government does something positive, the next time he will always talk about it. But anytime they slip, we'll also beat on them so that they can do the right thing.
Once we are objective, it'll be okay.
But we are objective now. You see, you talking on our own. Okay, so gentlemen, welcome to the program. This is the Nighttime Heat, and viewers kindly share the show. If you are in any part of the world and watching the YouTube, and you want to join the show, Just tap Nighttime Heat. You're going to watch the show and enjoy the show online. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. We are on Prime FM platform as well. Thanks to my good friend and brother Calvin Deming for allowing us to use his platform. And of course, every time I'm very energized. Every time you sense it from my voice. I know no bad day. All my days are good days. But anyway, today, it didn't really go. I don't know. We are still.
Today may likely be a bad day.
Yeah, we are still mourning we are mourning the death of Lackman president. She's our good friend and she passed. I saw the video, man. I broke down, man. The tears came down because I know of her well. Just a few weeks ago, she was at my church. She ministered, and none of us were so spirited to hear her death today. And just yesterday, we understand she was at her colleague's home, and one of her colleagues had died
last night.
Also, last night. Also,
So the question people are asking is, what happened?
Yes.
How did he die?
Well,
What killed her?
A lot of things happen. That's why I go for medical tests.
So,
But a lot of things happen. Those are doubting. It's that's about pressure.
Okay.
Pressure is the fastest. It's one of the fastest killer, maybe killer. I mean, so if sometimes heart attack, those kind of things, and we overload a lot of things.
So this is what is important for people to have programs on the radio stations.
Yeah.
Discussing some of the issues. How can one prevent pressure?
Sure.
What should you do?
David
should you do?
always doing that.
I remember the Star Radio had a program.
Yeah.
I think Health Talk or
Experts.
talking to the experts, health experts.
Yeah.
And I remember that program. That program helped a whole lot.
Yeah, sure.
Helped a whole lot. If someone can introduce such a program,
But it's good that you had information, man. You can keep the ball
you want to
rolling.
politicize it. This is distraction. If you bring the idea, someone you're talking about a good idea that somebody can pick up and come and pay money to Prime FM or go to OKF and pay some money there, pay for oil time and run this kind of program to discuss the health issues. There are a lot of people, you talk about blood pressure, high blood pressure, you're talking about other things.
And this thing they call cholesterol. It's bad.
Diabetes. There are people who don't have the idea as to what kind of food to eat, what to do, not to contract diabetes or suffer from high blood pressure.
Yeah, sure.
These kind of programs people need to be having on radio stations.
Yeah, sure.
We have.
I want to give it up to Mr. Koti. He's not an expert, but he talked with doctors and they gave him information and he relayed them.
All right, so I think just call his name and
very good, very good.
He's on those. We have not already officially started the program.
Yeah.
But David wants to talk. He wants to say something. Dave, Mr. Koti, welcome to the program quickly.
Thank you. I'll be very brief, and thanks to Mr. Kennedy for informing all of you that I do this every time on the radio.
Yeah.
I have had a health problem a health program at ELBC for over 13 years.
Okay.
I've invited more than 20 medical doctors in different disciplines. But at the same time, for the past 5 years, I have done what I call health tapes on Truth FM every morning at 8 o'clock. And just like all of you are mentioning, most of the health problems or diseases are asymptomatic. Most of them. For example, high blood pressure you're talking about. High blood pressure is asymptomatic. In other words, they have no sign in the early stage.
Okay.
And the Jamali Medical Solutions went to a particular college one time and did a test for 100 students for high blood pressure. 78 of them were having high blood pressure and didn't know they had it.
Can you imagine that?
And high blood pressure is a leading cause of stroke. About 94 million people right now living with stroke around the world. The main point I'm making is to support you people there. That it is important for everybody, young man, old man, woman, man, go to the hospital once a year to do a medical checkup. That's my main message on the radio. We blame witchcraft a whole lot for everything. Every time somebody dies in their sleep, we blame witchcraft. People die in it. Even this blindness we're talking about, people blame all kinds of people and things for their own trouble. So I agree with you that it's important that these programs be on the radios for, explanation to people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Dave. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Koti. Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And it's good, and I'm hoping that In fact, when I used to be at the state broadcaster, I can remember before, before I went, I assumed leadership role at the state broadcaster. At the time, I did a program. We used to do a program called Roadways to Health. Yeah, and that program helped me to understand some of the causes and prevention of this sort of diseases that are affecting our people, because I was always taking the microphone to the doctor. It's good. We're hoping that LBS can take up that to do the sort of program so that our people can be that part of LBS role and part of the Ministry of Information role. It's good that David Tabo is here. You take the message to information. Okay, so gentlemen, let's try now.
We are a little very serious on that. What happened?
No, man, I'm cool, man.
No, he came basically prepared.
Okay, no,
counter you guys.
He's not looking at.
All right, so gentlemen, let's start the ball rolling.
Sometimes life gotta be the way it is.
Yeah, sure. Let's start the ball rolling. The Minister of Justice, Oswald Tuweh, Councillor Oswald Tuweh, today addressed the media at MICAD in connection with this new drug busts. Let's hear him and see what we can gather from what he said to the media and said to the nation.
Member of the press, fellow Nigerians, good evening. The Joint National Security Investigative Task Force take this opportunity to inform the public of a major development in the ongoing investigation into suspected transnational narcotics trafficking activities in Nigeria. On Monday, July 20, 2026, the Joint National Security Investigative Task Force, acting on information developed during the ongoing investigation, arrested and detained several persons of interest for questioning in furtherance of the investigation. Information obtained through continued investigative and intelligence efforts subsequently led authorities to locate a location in the VOA community along the Bravos International Airport Highway in Dwason, County. On Tuesday, July 21st, 2026, at approximately 9 a.m., a team comprising members of the Joint National Security Investigative Task Force conducted a search of the identified premises pursuant to a duly authorized search and seizure warrant. During the operation, investigators recovered approximately 3,971 kilograms of processed bits of suspected cocaine with an estimated street value of approximately $317,680,000 United States dollars. The substances were seized and secured as evidence for further investigation and appropriate scientific examination. 2 foreign nationals, identified as Serbian national and the other with dual nationality, Colombian and Spanish, were taken into custody in connection with the seizure and are assisting investigators with the ongoing investigation. Their names are being withheld at this stage to protect the integrity of the investigation and all ongoing investigative activities. In addition to the suspected narcotics, investigators recovered several items considered relevant to the investigation, including the hiding suits, the firearm, GPS tracking devices, a drone, Starlink satellite internet equipment, and other materials. These items have been secured and are being examined to determine their purpose and potential connection to the suspected narcotics trafficking operation. The investigation remains active and is examining the origin, ownership, transportation method, and intended destination of the seized substances, as well as the identities and roles of all persons who may be connected to the operation. Investigators are also examining possible domestic and international networks, logistical arrangements, financial transactions, and any other forms of facilitation associated with a suspected shipment. The investigation has generated significant evidentiary leads and has indeed revealed an organized, sophisticated, complex, and well-funded narcotics trafficking network. They also revealed that this network may have been operating in Liberia for a considerable period, more than 6 years. Given the quantity involved and the circumstances surrounding the seizure, the Joint National Security Investigative Task Force is pursuing all available investigative leads to determine the full scope of this illicit narcotic operation. Cooperation with relevant national and international law enforcement partners will be pursued when necessary to identify additional persons, networks, or jurisdictions connected to the investigations. We want to thank them for their continuous collaboration and support. As the premises in Gladstone was used in the commission of offenses under the Amended Controlled Drugs and Substances Act of 2023, it will be confiscated and forfeited in favor of the government of Bureau as provided for under said act. The vehicle which was used to transport the drugs will also be confiscated and forfeited in favor of the government of Bureau as provided for under said act. The Joint National Security Investigative Task Force are also being instructed to take similar actions against the resident of the St. King, located at BB Road, where the drugs seized on June 8, 2026 were stored, picked up from, and transported to RIA. We want to caution the public against speculation regarding the identities or culpability of individuals who have not been formally charged. Persons currently being questioned or investigated are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in accordance to law. Their arrest and detention as persons of interest does not constitute a finding of criminal responsibility. Information will be released only when it can be verified and when disclosure will not compromise ongoing investigative activities or future prosecution. The government of Liberia remains resolute in its determination to prevent Liberia from being used as a transit corridor, storage location, or operational base for illicit narcotics trafficking and transnational organized crime. Any individual, regardless of nationality, position, or status, against whom credible and admissible evidence is established, will be held accountable according to the laws of the Republic of Liberia. We assure the public.
All right, so gentlemen, that's the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the Minister of Justice, the only man who can differ with the president. We heard him there reading his press statement and officially announcing the new drug busts. Already we had this 19 million that we're still struggling with to identify, although we found we capture some individuals, we charge some in absentia. Up to present, they are yet to be picked up. Again, this additional over 300 million, 300 million had come. Now, gentlemen, first I want us to figure out what is happening to our country. This is the first, if I'm not mistaken, in close to 12 years or even 18 years from the days of former President Sirleaf, we are till now. For us to have 300 drug busts, over 300 million. What's happening to our country? What is Liberia turning into? And I'm sure, Mr. Wion, you might have done your own assessment of what is happening. Let's hear from you.
So, quite frankly, today when I listened to the Attorney General, I felt to some extent, in fact, criticism, a little bit, disappointed in terms of the manner in which the press conference was conducted. The first thing is that nature of this kind, especially with the kind of high public expectation, in the midst of this, public reactions, speculations, and then when the government is coming to address the country, I think there will have been some level of consideration in terms of having a very interactive press engagement instead of a restricted press engagement where the attorney general only have to speak, make the government position statement, and then he turns it back. Journalists who will be there or who were there, never had the time to ask some of the basic questions. And I'm sure if that would have been so, maybe some of the speculation or some of the highly anticipatory questions that Liberians are all expecting at the moment, maybe some of those things would have cleared that doubt. But the conference was actually staged, it was actually restricted. And I think that was never the way, manner from which investigation of this hard nature, would have been conducted. However, pointing into the variables and the indicators into that some of the things the Attorney General pointed at, there is one key message that they sent out. They sent out to the international community that Liberia, it is unarguably a transnational transit point. It is established fact. It does not necessarily have to be a narco state, which, yes, that may be a very misjudgment, but in terms of the evidence with the established, investigations that have been ongoing, it tells you that Liberia is arguably transnational transit point of narcotics. That is why it says about us. Another thing it speaks to is the fact that the Justice Minister, I was actually as a person expecting he to probably, announce as to whether the state have in her control the command and control of the cartels. Yesterday, in a abrupt press engagement of the IG, he said it. He said the state, the joint security team has coordinated the control and the command of the cartels, and will make sure they will be prosecuted and keep on the law. He said that. So now that the president, as the Attorney General is coming to address the country, very official, and this is one of the things, the statement there, in fact, criticism support, it was not well detailed. It was not well detailed. It lacked some basic information.
Okay.
And
all right. I will come back to you. I will come back to you. That's your opening.
Okay.
Comment. We'll talk about the details that you said the press conference lacked. We'll talk about that. But Dave, first we're trying to figure out what is our country turning into, Dave? For the past 18 years, yes, I stand to be corrected. This is the first major drug bust. And it is happening under an administration that usually campaigned to stamp out the issue of drugs. What's happening, Dave? Let's hear from you.
What's happening? And you talk about this is the first time, for the past 18 or 10 years, that such a huge quantity of cocaine or drugs have been confiscated in our country. It's happening today because the current government is executive, is sensitive to the criminal maneuverings, the criminal cartels in terms of drugs. Previous governments that you must have been referring to were ignorant, they were insensitive, they didn't know. Even if they knew, they acted careless in terms of pursuing those who are, engaged in the trafficking of these dangerous drugs. So you mentioned the Ellen time, mentioned the John Weir time. Now we hear the Justice Minister, you listen to the Justice Minister. He said this has been happening, for the past maybe over 6 years, over more than 6 years. These cartels have been operating in Liberia. But because previous government, they didn't have the sophistication, nor were they insensitive, or were not smart enough, to realize that such maneuvering, such criminal cartels were operating in our country. Now the government has come to power. And because of the executiveness of the government, because of the sensitivity of the government that these things are happening, transnational crimes are happening. The government is discovering the joint security, the national joint security forces are now, intercepting drugs, consignments of drugs, huge millions of dollars worth of drugs. The joint security case is intercepting them, specifically the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency. That tells you how sensitive and smart and robust this government is in terms of making sure that the issue of drugs becomes a history in our
So let
country.
me ask you, are you insinuating,
No, I'm not insinuating anything here.
are you factual that during the Salif's administration, coming to the George Weah's administration, they had quantity of narcotics of this nature that were never discovered?
Sabot, I've already told you that previous governments were not sensitive. Even
I'm asking you, Dave.
Yeah, what are you
because
asking?
duing the administration,
Uh-huh.
we didn't hear about
Yeah,
any. I can't,
and-
no,
and
one
that's
minute, one
exactly
minute.
what I
No,
told
1
you.
minute, Dave. 1 minute.
Yeah,
1
okay,
minute.
go ahead.
Please, you said something. I want to ask you a question.
Mhm.
You said this government, it's happening because this government is very executive, very smart, and it's picking up the cartels, right? So the question is, you said the last government were people that were not smart, they were not executive, you dismissed them. But during their term, we didn't hear about 300 million. I agree with you. During Weah's time, we heard about 100 million. Yeah, granted. But 300 million, Dave, then you are saying to us is because this government is executive and smart and arresting cartels? Is that the reason why it's happening?
And I mean it. I have no regrets of
Okay, let
saying
me hold
that.
you there. Let me hold you there. Dave.
That's the fact.
Let me hold you there.
That's a fact.
Let me hold you there. Mr. Kennedy, we're trying to figure out. Yes.
So you see, so when we start something like when the line of questioning comes, and this thing got to be historical.
Yeah, sure.
We all know. I was at the Daily Observer on report when we reported at the time, 2011, 2012, between 510 million worth of drugs was arrested. Like the whole West African sub region has been used by the cartel for some times, especially where now the fight against drug in the West. I mean, in Sub-Saharan. I mean, in North. I mean, how to call it? In South America and other areas have not been intensified by the U.S. This guy looking at the weaker route on this side. Between 2011 to 2013, in fact, let me tell you, one Perry Dolo, he was a motorcade driver for Madam Salif.
Mm-hmm.
He used a presidential motorcade, one of them, and he was arrested with drugs in 2013, November. I can tell you the date, November 2013. Perry Dolo. Yeah, that was something days, right? So
And do we know the quantity?
No, it's about 294 kilograms or how many pounds, about almost, I don't know how many pounds, drugs that time. All right, he was arrested. So maybe some of these history will be necessary for the people to know that this thing is not new. It started long since the people using this one region as a transit point, transnational trade routes. They use Guinea, they use Sierra Leone, they use Liberia, they use Sierra Leone. The last time Senegal was almost $500 million. So the whole West African sub-region is just a fight.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that you should not do your job, right?
Sure.
So here in Liberia, it's not about the quantity arrested who may look at it, some people may look at it from a negative point, but it is plus to the outside world, because maybe our mindset is that so long there's quantity arrested here, it means that it's bad. But it is good that nobody saw it. Where you're going should go. That's being somehow, I don't know how to use some words on the radio, but the drug bust, especially in someone else's house, shows that the state is strengthening its interests to go from place to place to know where the drugs are. All right. So right now, Liberians should be celebrating, not from the negative perspective, because it's discovered here. So it means that we are the demons. In Liberia, we are the demons. when you arrest, criminals are always everywhere in the world, the sophisticated countries. Those guys, they are sophisticated. Listen to some of the items that the minister named that the guy used. The guy used diving suit. It means that even when they bring a vessel in high sea, they can dive and go for it there. The guy used GPS tracking machines, okay, to track security movement, to track the movement of their goods. The guys also use what we call drones to know security operations, security positions, and other things to see. This is not something for us to politicize. This thing is purely, we don't have the sophistication as a country to fight these people, and so we need the kind of international assistance to really fight, because they see the leakages in our system in the South region. Not in in the South region. I didn't name you Sierra Leone, Guinea. If you check on it, all the places have been dropped by Senegal, Ghana, all those places. So in fact, if you go to Al Jazeera right now, there is on that features. There is a feature there right now in Ghana where the citizens, they set up vigilante to fight drugs, including opium. So it is not something that we should use to demonize ourselves. When I mean ourselves, I mean our government. God wants to demonize our government about this thing. It means that reflection is on us. We should be commending them and encouraging them to do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me
Sabah, before you go to just 30 seconds. And if you listen to the Justice Minister, the Justice Minister said,
we'll come to the detail.
One of the questions.
We'll come to some of the things he said.
Okay, go on.
Now, Moses, first, we're trying to figure out what's happening. What is it our country is turning into, Moses? To have discovered 300 million. Let's hear you.
You know, as I listened to you guys, I kept asking myself, what are we talking about? When you have a problem, you have to look at the problem in the broader context. Arresting over 300 million US dollars worth of drugs. That does not in any way imply that you have a security system that is working better now compared to previous administration. It could be both ways. It could be that, and like all of you guys on the show here, the Liberia that we grew up in, we were never impacted by the problem of substance use as you see in today's Liberia. So that means that to see this quantity of drugs in our country, it means the problem has exacerbated. It has worsened as compared to what we had years ago. That would be one of the reading into it. Another reading into it too could be that, hey, this administration is working with international support or international institutions. They are doing more to get to the core of this problem. So we should not only be celebrating the government for hyping this problem, but we should also be looking at the problem in a way that says things are getting out of control. Because we never had this. Now, having said that, let's look at the messenger. The Minister of Justice. We all respected the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia. I think Minister Tuer, his impact in the dispensation of justice in Liberia is not being felt. He speaks once in a while, and whenever he speaks, his speeches, his news conferences are controlled. Like Mr. Williams said, how do you hold such a major news conference about the drug bust, over 300 million US dollars? And you have people saying the minister will not take any question. He did the same thing with the 19 million or drug bust. He took no question. Some will prepare speeches. That does not mean that the journalists are not ready to ask you or to ask you for additional information. We have a justice minister that is overshadowed by the director of police. We hear from our justice minister once in a while. And I think he needs to step up. We want to hear him more. We want consistent updates. When was the last time you heard our justice minister talking about the drug case, the $19 million drug case? Today he has spoken. You will not hear him again. I'm not trying to beat down. I'm not trying to put him down. But I think he needs to be more visible, and he's not.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, someone. I'd like to come
one minute.
Okay, no problem.
Let's have order. I mean,
Yeah,
David.
1 minute. Okay, Dave, come in quickly.
So I'd like to comment. And it is good that Moses comes from a journalism background. For Moses to have said that it is wrong for someone to have a news conference and dismiss questions and say, oh, no questions. And to Moses to consider it as being, wrong. I disagreed. Moses is in the United States. He was here in Liberia as a journalist. He's in the United States, a country where that everyone looks up to for the best things in life. Even in the great United States and in all parts of the world, there are news conferences, national leaders address the press or address reporters and say there are no questions. So it's the people who handle news conferences in that manner have the reason of doing that. Most especially in such a situation.
Can you share the reason?
The reason? Mm-hmm. The reason could be that calling names of people whose names shouldn't be called, like you talk about the investigation, you talk about people's names being reserved or not undisclosed, people's names being undisclosed because of the investigation, the nature of the investigation. That happens all around the world. Anybody can address a news conference, address or speak to reporters and said, no questions.
David,
in the United States.
David, you're not being fair here.
No, not being fair.
1 minute.
No.
1 minute.
I'm not being fair because I'm not saying why you want to hear.
Dave, 1 minute.
Yeah, what's a minute?
1 minute. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Minister of Justice, and we'll come into the detail of some of the things he said. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Minister of Justice holding a press conference and answering questions from journalists. If they ask him, Mr. Minister, do we know as to the location of the drugs, where it came from? We are still investigating. We have not reached it yet. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Then to hold a press conference for almost an hour or 45 minutes and you dismiss journalists from asking you questions. Let me hold you.
No. You can't hold me there. You can't hold me there. No. You can't dismiss me like that, Saba. I disagree with that. The justice minister has a reason for avoiding questions.
What is the reason?
Security reasons.
What's security reason?
Security reasons, Saba. The man, he runs that
when
office.
You hold press conferences, David, 1 minute.
It is not mandatory.
David.
People use their discretion. No, Saba. People use their discretions to determine whether their press conferences or news conferences should allow
you open
questions
the room for speculation.
Yeah, but people speculate.
Press
the best thing is to do the right thing.
And you dismiss
not all news conferences. Not all news conferences questions are asked.
Comrade, you talk about
all, you know that.
1 minute.
You know that. Not all news conferences questions are allowed. You know that.
1 minute.
So
sensitive issue like what we are talking about now. 300 million, over 300 million drug value discovered. They say journalists can ask questions, Dave. Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from an objective point of view.
Let's hear you all come.
So basically,
let's look into the detail.
That is why. But just before going into that,
1 minute, Moses. 1 minute. 1 minute, Moses. We have William. So we are on the line. I mean,
I'm
speaking.
not too sure any of us on the show, trying to, disdain the character of the Justice Minister simply because he did not, receive questions. But why it is true, what I said in my opening remarks is that isn't it necessary for the Justice Minister to answer to some of the questions so that he can be able to alleviate some of the doubts into the minds of the citizens? Of course it is. The reason why no press conference of this nature should at all point in time give the opportunity to the journalists to ask questions so that it reduces mis and disinformation in the public. It reduces speculations, assumptions, from in the public. And it restores confidence within the investigations, the ongoing investigations. If you have a Justice Minister who will only come and then present a scripted release to you and then walks out, nobody asking questions, even in the given the fact that he doesn't want to maybe reveal whatever sensitive details that may influence the investigation, that still cannot be justified, as per the denial of journalists asking the questions and creating more speculations and misinformation in the public gear. That is not necessary. For me, I cannot say it is professionally wrong for a newsmaker to deny questions. No, it happens. It happens. But in the nature of this kind of investigation, will it be a necessary thing to do? I say no to that. So to dive into the specificities of the entire press conference, and which I said initially, and I maintain that the press conference, in my honest criticism, was not fully detailed. Since the incident yesterday morning around 9 a.m., it been over 24 to almost close around 37 hours for the state to issue the official statement, which the police ID described initially that the Attorney General will address the country in a detailed press conference. Therefore, I'm not speaking further about this. He told the reporters at the LNP headquarters. So that detailed press conference that has been referenced by the RG would have taken into several accounts of key specificities, such as when the raid was carried out, were there no Liberians or any different national fund in the facility of which because there have been no reports in the public, and that should have been some of the key elements of the release today, so that there's made some of the reports, or better still, validate the authenticity of some of the reports. There are reports that have been reported incidents in the public about there were Liberians, but these Liberians were now exposed on the camera. Only the foreign nationals were made public to the press. The state is under obligation to clarify that, and that was not done in this recent, as a few 1 hour ago press conference addressed by the Attorney General that was now captured. Another thing he said is the RG who perfected the arrest or who initiated the operation. He said in a brief engagement with the press that we now have the control and command of the cartels in custody. That statement of the RG speaks a whole lot of plenty, interpretations. Is it that the RG, in other words, suggesting to the announcing that those key principles of the cartels are now under the custody of the state? Is that what the RG was suggesting to the public? If that was so, then why the Attorney General could not have emphasized that indeed we have the command and the cartel the command and control of the cartels on the custodies, and they're going through investigation. That would have been one of the major factors of the release. If that was placed there, it would have restored public confidence in the entire investigations. Probably by now, people still wouldn't have been thinking about them. And another thing that I think, which would have also been.
Let me hold you there.
Before you want me there, I conclude this, because I know that you normally don't give me much time, so I conclude it. So
the time you can't give it to anybody here. That lost me.
You always accuse me. I got
the Justice Minister also acknowledged that the yesterday just burst was the benefit of the ongoing investigation of the 19 million cocaine seizure at the RIA, which was birthed by the intelligence gathering of our international and national partners. But today, he also did not acknowledge the support of the international partners.
Okay, so let me hold you there. Yeah, Moses wanted to come in quickly. If I can go to Dave.
No, to me now.
Yeah,
Don't forget.
But Moses, I know, before you come in, I was just searching as to what damages it costs, or what are the disadvantage if a sensitive issue like what we're talking about, over 300 million drug bust, if sensitive issue of that nature is being addressed and journalists are barred from asking questions. Let me read what I researched. Barring journalists from asking about sensitive message of control, censorship, and evasion. It virtually and symbolically communicates that the administration is operating in a bubble. It's operating in a bubble, avoiding public accountability and dictating a strictly one-sided narrative. That's what it does.
Sure.
And that's what the Minister of Justice did today. But Moses, come in, please. They got a funny research. Moses, go ahead. What are you looking for play to write? Moses, go ahead.
Moses on the line.
Actually, as of
Moses wanted to come in.
Okay, so you are active. Neighbors for news companies, especially prominent people such as the Minister of Justice. And this guy has a pattern, meaning it is a repeated behavior. The essence of taking questions from journalists is to give them the opportunity for follow-ups, for clarifications regarding statements emanating from newsmakers. My brother David Tiger knows that he's editor-in-chief. He knows the essence. You go to a news conference like a summer rare, you come with a prepared statement that restricts the information. That restricts the information that you want to be taken to the public. Now, let me put this to everyone. Why it was even necessary to make this question. So the minister announced the arrest or the seizure of cocaine valued at more than $317 million US dollars. That's not the question of the story. The BBC quoted the director of police as reporting $3 billion. Don't you see a contradiction between the two? Then the vice president of the Republic of Liberia is national our event. He also quoted $3 million US dollars. $300 million US dollars. That's the vice president reported to Liberia. They had the Attorney General addressing a news conference, giving us a different number. These people, don't they coordinate? Create room for more. It is important.
Hold the line. I already answer you, but just hold the line. Somebody should speak.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. No, not you. Not you. Moses already speech.
Family.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I was saying is that it is important that when our public officials issues the opportunity for follow-up.
Okay.
dissemination of information to be language, it creates room for speculations.
All right. Okay, Moses, 1 minute. 1 minute. I would advise that you go off and come back on because your line is starting, please. Okay, let's hear from you, Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you. I'm just, I thank God that besides Mr. Famble, we're all here journalists. With me, I didn't do journalism at degree level, right? Some people here get degree in journalism. But when I was lecturing in the special training at the university, where the best professors from there lectured me, they told me the difference between press conference, press statement, and press briefing. I know most people because we're still not in the field. The press statement, in the press conference, it's interactive between the journalist and the person giving the press conference, the statement there. In the press statement, the person can decide to read the statement and leave it without question. In the press briefing, the person can also decide to read the statement without taking question. And they can most often announce from the beginning. I didn't see this from the beginning. I don't know what it worked. But as a
it was never announced from the beginning. Fine. Thank you. No, let me correct you now.
I said I don't know.
Let me inform you that
listen to me. What are you correcting now?
All right, let me inform you.
I know you're very eager to read that your AI thing that you read here.
You see that?
That was not making us anything.
Yes, sir.
But you will not give me the chance to learn because you gave it all I meant 10 minutes. Fine. You will let it interrupt.
Yeah. It was never announced.
So I said, I don't know if it was so. You say, let me correct you. It was so yes, and I just intended to eat all my time. This strategy, we all know it. We all know it in the media. So it can work. It can work on us.
Go ahead.
As a journalist, did I want journalists asking questions? Yes. Do I feel that there are a lot of things that need to be unearthed? I say yes. But if I put myself in the shoes of the security man, who is always conservative with information. And that's the difference between the journalists and the security personnel. Some of us who cover security areas when we're in the press at executive mansion or other places. And one man news, the man wants to protect the president so nobody can, unauthorized person can get to them. So what do? I reach to the president through that security personnel assigned at that place. Okay, some people go force it. They say, I'm a journalist, I have to go through the house. Some people got whipped. No. You find your way through to the president through the security. It's not because you get press badge, so it means you go anywhere.
Okay.
So okay, I'm on the line. Yeah, I'm still here, please. So the press man like you, Mr. George, Mr. Sandy, who was one time journalist here, and even my younger brother here, who is an investigative, quote unquote investigative journalist, and the publisher who is here will always stand on the side that questions should have been asked. But the security man on the security side will always feel that let me be conservative with the information because they have more investigation to do in order to effect arrest. Okay, so when we are discussing this thing, we should balance the discussion. We've been one-sided on this because we're journalists. We're speaking from a journalistic point of view without empathizing with the security. So that's why you did when you read, Mr. Sabata, what you did when you read that incriminating analysis about how the state will be looked at as this. It was very, very incriminating.
What makes it incriminating?
Because it's one-sided. You still ask a question to balance it in terms of the information between the security side and the journalist side.
Now, so let me address you now.
Address the issue.
No, let me address.
No, somebody.
I told you 1 minute.
And
comrade. Yeah. I like your premise that you laid. I like that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we continue to say on this radio. When you are appointing people in position, appoint people who are from the background of what you wanted to do or the job you wanted to do. If you are appointing a media man, if you appointed me as media person for let's assume LEC, and LEC had a problem, and we did a press statement that we believe it's not a press conference, it's just a statement or whatever our boss is going to read, and at the end he leaves. First, before we begin, we announce it. And we should say, I agree with you. It should be announced. But when you don't announce it, at the end of the day, like the minister did, he went and held a press conference. And you just, outright, you left without allowing the journalist to ask questions. You know what it means? It's like you're trying to evade certain information. You're trying to present a one-sided narrative. Comrade, I know what you're talking about. I'm backing you.
One minute. That's why I kept quiet. Because you didn't make
I'm backing you. Yes.
That's why I put it balanced.
Yeah, no,
as a journalist, I would like to ask.
Fine. So that's a mistake made.
Yeah.
But right, if you know that your boss will not take question, or the Minister of Information will not take question, or the Minister of Justice will not take question, announce it so that the journalists are aware.
I think it was announced from the
Okay.
It was announced, right?
But
he said it was announced.
It was announced by the deputy spokesperson. Announced it initially before the minister took it.
Thank you for being honest.
Let's hear Famula.
Hello.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not feeling too well. That's why I didn't come to the studio.
Yeah, surely.
We should speed the recovery.
But however, I'm constrained to call. I'm driving living from the clinic, and I'm hearing, the condemnation from Mr. William, from our big brother, Mr. Sandy. First of all, what we all need to establish is that this is a national security issue. So it is within the purview of the state to provide information if they deem necessary. There is nowhere in the world where a fluid situation like this is happening, where a major drug bust was done just a day after, less than 24 hours. Corporates are in custody, and you expect the justice minister to come and give you all the information that you need. The journalist starts to ask questions. And then again, he goes on to start disclosing sensitive information that he's not supposed to disclose. And again, let me say this.
I think, Mr. Famule.
Yes, go ahead.
Maybe you didn't. Maybe you are not following well.
The mayor's on track.
No, 1 minute.
The
No, the mayor's not on track.
I say you want to distract him.
Please.
I say you want to distract him.
I didn't ask you to say that.
But you want to distract him.
No, it's not your turn.
No, you have to
That way, it's not your
respect
turn. Please.
Yeah, let's
You have to respect the rules.
You have to respect the rules.
I think the legal mind on this program is not on track. Maybe you're not following well. No, I'm coming. Nobody is saying here that the minister should provide all the details. He should tell us as to where the drug came from, how many persons were arrested, and all of that. No, nobody's saying that.
I agree.
So get that right.
I do agree. No. But your argument is that he refused to take caution, so he's hiding information.
No.
But we talk about evading questions.
No, you didn't get it right. You didn't get it right.
What does the word evade mean? What does evade mean?
I'm coming. 1 minute. I was telling us about the disadvantage that is in barring journalists from asking questions.
I listen to Mr.
No, but I did not say so.
The man get a man chance. The man listen.
No, man,
I did not say so. That me.
I'm not enjoying your converse tonight.
To say that it was disingenuous on the part of the justice minister not to take caution. Some of those caution would have led to him exposing sensitive information that he shouldn't have done. And this is what I'm saying to you guys. This is a national security issue. So exactly what national security team that they supposed to put out for the public, that's what they did.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's my turn.
Thank you. You made a point.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Wait. Please, let's start politicizing these things.
Comrade, you made your point. You are off tangent. You distorting everything here. Go ahead.
This is the point. I'm also disappointed in Moses. Moses is saying that why isn't the justice minister talking all the time, and the police director general, inspector general is over talking the justice minister? So that means that the justice minister doesn't know a job. Look, I know you guys have been struggling to be coaching the president, the justice minister, and others how to do their job. But the people are not working to only please Sabo George and others. or please David Tagbe and others.
Okay.
It's about doing the right thing. It's not because you're not hearing what you want to
But
hear.
the Moses said, no, 1 minute, 1 minute.
No,
One minute.
You like to
One minute.
interrupt people. Let me learn you coming.
No, 1 minute.
Let me learn.
No, you're not going to learn when your premises are flawed. You're not going to learn.
No.
Now, did Moses say that the minister of justice doesn't know his job? He didn't say so.
That's what it implies.
No, we didn't. No. No. You can't.
Information.
That's what it implies.
No.
Information.
We are not prepared for information.
Let me learn.
We are not prepared for information.
Let me learn some of that. What it implies.
No,
Moses is saying. No.
Moses didn't say that.
No, Sabo.
Don't read beyond what Moses said.
Sabo. That's what it implies. Moses said. Moses said. The justice minister is not talking all the time, and it is unfortunate. I don't have to use his exact words. And that the police inspector general is almost like doing the justice minister's work and over talking the justice minister. What does it imply? It implies that the justice minister doesn't know his job.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't imply. It doesn't imply. It doesn't embody that. Now, 1 minute. Let me hold you. Let me hold you there.
You see, you were always holding.
Yes, let me hold you there.
Always
because you're trying to create an impression that is far-fetched. Moses didn't say so.
There you go.
Moses didn't say so.
I didn't want
to. No, please, you landed already.
Someone you've been in fashion here. I'm not landed.
Please, 1 minute.
Someone, this is what brings the noise on the show.
Stop, Dave. 1 minute, Moses can come in.
This is absolutely unfair.
We have to transition.
This is absolutely unfair.
Moses can come.
It's wrong. It's wrong, Saba. Stop being in fashion.
Moses, why you crying for?
No, but it's obvious that you're playing fast.
You try to misinterpret your friend.
No, that's not.
You misinterpret the man. Moses coming.
Saba, man.
Please, Moses, please come in.
Go ahead, Moses. Go ahead. Yeah, Saba's darling boy. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you're sitting right here, and you try to.
Messing from the man. Taba, are you on a mission for that?
Moses is.
Are you on a mission to misinterpret?
Moses is already in a denial mode, so I expect that.
Okay.
I put it in denial mode.
Please, 1 minute. Moses can come in.
That's another generalization again on your part. How can you prove that I'm always in a denial mode? Do you know what mode is?
I determine your mood, Moses. You're talking. I determine your mood.
Mode is determined. It's an internal stimulus. Can you read him a mood?
Well, you don't know.
For your voice, I can determine your mood.
Why would a man deny?
From your
please, 1 minute, man, Dave, man. You causing trouble. Don't say trouble.
Please, 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute. Go off tangent a little bit. Besides being a journalist and in mental health, I read more.
My people.
Every day. That's part of my work. You know words loosely, you don't even know what you're talking about. To me, understand that you're speaking to a mental health specialist. Now let's come to the issue. When we say the minister has the party, he has the of refusing to take questions from journalists. We say that is not good. When we say speak to or take questions from journalists, Mr. Famule, Mr. Tagbe, we are not saying that the minister should tell the people of Liberia everything that has to do with security. He has the right to say, I chose not to answer this question. Journalists have the right to follow up, and this opportunity is continuously being denied, Mr. Family, with information. You know, so doesn't know what he's doing. I am simply saying that his presence as Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia is not being.
Meaning, we have people who are what? Usurping his function.
My brother Moses.
All right. So, gentlemen, we'll have
Then before you
Saba.
vote,
No, we'll have to transition.
No,
One minute.
We all
One
have
minute.
people have spoken three
Okay,
times.
okay, Family wants to come in.
We have now.
1
We have
minute.
spoken.
Yeah.
1 minute. Let's go to Family.
Yeah, you spend the whole time on it, you're not
Please.
saying but not completed.
Let me just respond to Mr. Sandy. You see, these are the insincerity that actually we need to be very careful of. He's sitting there and saying that the minister could have chosen to answer a question. If that
Yeah, man.
Who got a phone on here, man?
Family, check your
Family,
background.
just call. Don't call the chat room. Call call me directly, please.
Yes, Saba. So
Yeah.
just before we transition,
No,
there is
I
one.
want-
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. Let
Yeah.
Dave come in.
They've come in four
That would be the fourth time of
Let
them.
them go ahead.
So there is one.
We'll
key-
have to transition.
there is one key. There is one key element, into the release today that I want every one of us to take into very kind and serious consideration. That is, those materials that were all confiscated along the trust at the time the police, perfected the arrest. It speaks to the fact that, especially one of the materials you emphasize that which are not in detail is about the diving suit.
Diving suits. Yeah.
That speaks to the fact that this consignment, these narcotics must have entered our country through the Atlantic Coastway.
Mr. George.
No, please hold your line. Hold the line. Somebody can speak. Yeah.
This is well, in terms of elaborate, comprehensive, full-fledged investigation, in terms of breaking the cartels, you will also be looking into considering all of our port of entrance, where we have not the free port of Monrovia, our very port, or we share borders with on rivers. Because for the guys to have a diving suit, there is a possibility these consignment must have been brought in by bigger ships that may stop at the high seas,
sea.
and then these small canoes or the boats go there, bring them. So I'm saying the joint security, they are doing some commendable job, but it is hard time they roll up their sleeves and make sure to step up their game. This time around, we should not experience what we experience in terms of the 19 million just burst, in terms of the slow pattern of information flow.
Okay. All right. Thank
So-
you.
so
no,
no,
1 minute.
I-
1 minute.
you're-
No.
I was coming first.
Let's hear from Mr. Famula. We'll have to transition, gentlemen. Mr. Famula,
Yeah,
let's
so-
hear you.
Mr. George, yes, our in speech. Now, these are the dishonesty that we need to speak about. If that justice minister today had taken questions and refused to answer those questions, the same Moses Sane would be sitting on the radio and saying the justice minister is hiding something, he's skipping the journalist question, he's not answering. Let us be sincere to ourselves when we speak to the public. And to Mr. William, don't act like you are an expert. You don't understand these things. I keep saying this to you, and again, I will say it because some of us have lived it. We've worked in it. When we did the drug report in 2010, we never had no press conference. No justice minister spoke. Because these things, people don't know the effect, how far it goes. You think to bust a drugs worth of $300 million, that's play? People's lives are on the line. You don't know that. And then you want to sit there and castigate people, the justice minister not talking, the other person not talking, they want not happening. Do you know how these things work?
Okay.
Even in the greatest country in the world, the United States, do you see people out there showing themselves?
I need to clear my
They don't do that. They keep some of these things because they are national security issues.
So,
All right, thank you.
Just
Thank you.
30 seconds. Mr. Famule, I am not in any way claiming that the justice minister was categorically wrong for not, entertaining or accepting questions from the journalists. That is not my contestation here. That is not what I'm saying. What I say and I'm admitting is it necessary for questions to be asked, especially in this kind of high investigations, where
so this is
in
what I come in.
the midst of speculations, there's a information in the public. To some extent, upon the questions from the journalists, it will also help to alleviate doubts from the minds of the citizens. It may reduce speculations for even within the media. So Isn't it necessary? That is my thesis defense. Isn't it necessary? I did not in any way categorically condemn or disdain the character of the Justice Minister simply because he did not answer questions or did not allow questions to be asked by the journalists, even though the Deputy Minister announced that there will be no questions.
Gentlemen, we have to Saba, what I want to say quickly is that look, an investigation of this nature, it is the Minister of Justice that determines when to ask, when it is appropriate to ask questions and when not. When not.
Dave, thank you. You said that earlier.
Yeah, and when
let's end on this note. We have to transition quickly. Anytime a major issue like what we are discussing now, major drug busts, people want to know what's happening, how the investigation is proceeding, who's handling the investigation, and maybe the speaker at the press conference, whether the Minister of Justice, the Inspector General, or whoever, does not allow the journalists to ask questions. Let me state this once again. Holding a press conference while barring journalists from asking questions projects an image of authoritarianism, avoidance, and heavy-handed censorship.
That's an AI.
It strongly suggests the speaker or administrations fearful of accountability, trying to control the narrative, or actively attempting to hide critical truths. And listen, gentlemen.
And that is where I've been trying to come.
Yeah,
to clarify.
no, but nobody clarified again.
No,
you say yours.
No,
you say yours.
I mean, speak two times. Three times.
You spoke 3 times.
No.
We have to go.
And that is why Mr. Weir was very honest when he said when he said it didn't go through. When he said
Comrade,
this was the press statement, the Deputy Minister announced that there would have been no problem.
Thank you.
So that AI does not hold the Minister of Justice.
AI, when the picture just said was AI.
So what is wrong with AI? Living in a digital world. AI, the usage of AI, they are actually.
Thank God that you have made that Minister, Deputy Minister.
I mean, that's a fact.
Come and read that.
I recheck my notes.
You want to read that?
I recheck my notes.
They allow you to read that right in a different way. You want to read that right?
Listen to the next time right to the Prime FM 105.5. We are also streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. If you want to watch the show online, just tap Nighttime Heat. Either you watch online, either you watch your Facebook, or you watch on YouTube. We are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. Now, gentlemen, let's try to look at this video about people celebrating today, celebrating the release of Fenda Bondo. And then we can talk about how they should come up. The video. And let me read this quickly. The Supreme Court of Liberia has ordered the release of former Executive Managing Chief of Protocol, Nora Fenda Bondo, from the Monrovia Central Prison pending a conference on August 4, 2026. The court directed that Bondo be released to a lawyers after she filed a writ of prohibition challenging criminal court's ruling. As a condition of her release, she must surrender her passport, while the case remains before the Supreme Court. And let me begin with you, Moses, on this one. What's your takeaway, Moses?
Very interesting. So this is the same thing I talked about. But first, I'm not a lawyer. That's going to be one, and this is where Mr. Family stays. But when Mr. Family tried to tell journalists what to do, then it's like, he knows where he's done it. So now let's talk about this. We're talking about a very high profile case.
Mm-hmm.
Legally, this is how it's been solved. In the case of this lady, a lawyer went to the Supreme Court and filed a request for a prohibition rate, a petition for a prohibition, a rate of prohibition, meaning that they wanted the Supreme Court to do it. And that is calling a habit. Finna and her lawyer believe that there's a request for $8 million as a charity grant. That's what prompted. So they went to the court, and what happened today? My assumption would be the request was made with the judge, the presiding judge, and a stay order was issued. A stay order is not issued immediately, or it can take up to 2 to 3 days for it to be issued. In the case of Finland, it was immediate today. Now, what's going to happen in order for the prohibition to be issued? That's why you heard them saying that they're going to be what? A conference with the presiding judge. That conference will bring all of the parties together. It's a legitimate reason, and that normally takes what? Several days for that conference to be held. When that conference is held, at that conference that the judge will say, okay, you issue the prohibition, putting the heart to everything. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just speaking as an educated person on there who does research. Now, we're talking about a lady and has a close relationship with President Joseph Zuma Walker. This is the same thing that we're talking about yesterday. That when the enforcement of war laws in Liberia is selected under this administration, the closer you get to the people in power, things are not so clear for you. If you are not closer, you see that differently. Daniel Twain is today facing what? An uphill task. In Nabono, he went to prison for 1 day. A lawyer went to court. Fortunately for him, the lawyer filed a petition. A stay order was issued. Is this how we dispense justice in Liberia?
Okay, let me hold you there, Moses. Let me hold you there. Mr. Kennedy, let's hear you. I think that it's released today.
Will not be dwelling on always responding to Mr. Sunday.
No, we're asking about your
what he's doing is
your takeaway.
I like the way he's marketing himself.
If you want to respond, you can respond to him.
No need. But what I know, I would just say it right. Look, as issue, the first day when that issue came, I said that my auntie. Traditionally, she's my auntie. So I always issue this, I don't know. I started knowing her since the late 90s during former President Taylor's time coming on. Okay, so technically, we from that side, we family. But that doesn't mean if it goes wrong, I back it right. But what happened is the law. That's the law. Look, if her jailing, I was not happy for her to go to prison, but that's the law. She went to prison. In fact, she heroically surrounded herself when she was not even expected to have done it. People thought she would have gone undercover. She walked to the prison. All right. And she turned herself over. She was detained, slept in prison, and her lawyer said that he was going to go to the Supreme Court. Announced right there that you're going to go to the Supreme Court. Her lawyer went to the Supreme Court and got justice from the Supreme Court. That is the suspension of her detention. That rate says she's considered partially free until August 4th. That will be the conference. And that all her passports, she's turning everything over in government to the court, be government custody. So technically, like almost like somebody on a house arrest until that hearing takes place. But where my confusion is, and that's why I said yesterday, I said about 10 or more people involved in this one charge, and their bond bill is around $8 million. If one person wants to go to say, I want to stand trial, do they have to pay that $8 million on behalf of the 10 people? Or is there a law that they have to divide that amount, the bill bond, each person pay their own bill? Because in my understanding too, if each person pay their own bill bond, it means that a separate trial. So that's the confusion. I talked with one lawyer today, he couldn't really explain better. So I don't want to quote him, because it's something that we in the media need to know so we can be able to educate the people about it. If we can get a lawyer explaining, the clear lawyer who have gone through this type of thing to explain, because $8 million is not for one that being sued for the crime. There are whole droves of people.
Okay, now let me hold you there.
Yeah.
Are you concerned? Is it? I don't know. You are not a lawyer though, but and this is the argument that Moses is trying to proffer. Are you concerned that FINA took a flight to the Supreme Court today, and on the same day, she received an acknowledgement of the flight she took, and as a result, that brought her release? Are you concerned? Because normally, and sometimes what we hear and we see, if you went to the Supreme Court, the court maybe takes some days or a week to respond to your prohibition. But Moses argued that FINDA's prohibition was responded to immediately.
I didn't want to go there, but in his opinion, what he was saying is that because FINDA got close proximity with the president, so they're giving her, the kind of suffering. Whenever someone goes and wins against the government in court, that person is related to the government. That's kind of a behavior, mentality, mentality. I don't want to discuss it. That's why I didn't want to respond to him, because I'll be carrying myself backward. Knowledge-wise, seriously. I mean, I don't want to be going up and down with somebody. I like the person to expose himself. Anybody to say that FINA is related to Boakai, so that what Boakai, the president did. The last time FINA tried to make contact with the president sent a message, go to court, go clear yourself. And that is the man, Joseph Boakai. Man, he doesn't know Joseph Boakai.
Okay, let me hold you there.
So
let's hear you before I can come to our colleague on the line. Let's hear you.
Why? Not me?
No, leave your time.
So basically, this is where, my concern is being drawn. We will always say on the radio, it is good to fight corruption.
The feedback, man.
That's from the man in the street.
In the wake of fighting corruption,
home.
It must be done holistically. So, but let me just take you back for a few, maybe months.
Mm-hmm.
All of those attempts, all of those actions being, taken towards citizens who the government, perceive, or develop some links in terms of they have committed some crimes, and therefore they should face charges. The manner in which this investigation has been ongoing, you rather don't need a magician or a rocket scientist to tell you that people, to some extent, there are some distinctions in terms of the manner in which the investigations or the prosecutions are being applied on certain people. We sat down in the country, we saw the investigation with Abdullah Kamara of the LTA. In fact, there was nothing. There has been no point in time where this fellow, for whatever reason, similarly like his crime is about corruption, to say, oh, he was one of the other, taken to the Monrovia Central Prison. He was detained behind bars.
Are you here? He was cuffed and taken. Maybe you don't know. Are you here in this country?
So
sorry for interrupting, but
he was caught and taken to the Monrovia Central.
You don't know what happened here?
Prison. So that is so. I'm sure there was a letter that was I followed. So I had to verify that, but I think that case has been concluded when he was set free.
No,
Abdullah Kamara.
No, he went to jail.
He went to jail, and his case is still on the docket. Then you telling people this? No.
So thanks for the information. So what I'm saying, there's a manner and form in which when people are becoming to believe that they are being targeted. You saw the interview with Fina at the Monrovia Central Prison Gate that she spoke hopelessly that she leave everything to God. And you know what? You know the reason why she said that? I told you yesterday. It is about how somebody feels about a justice system at a given time that the things supposed to be there, regardless of who is involved, make sure justice is dispensed. But she feels apparently she's being targeted. That is how she feels. And another interesting thing about this whole thing is the fact that we saw the case of or the reports of the resigned what's the name? Commerce boss, Ami Modad. Wasn't that concerning for the government to have initiated a probe? Vehicle circulating over the place that the man used taxpayer money allegedly procure something worth some money that the president probably the car on a question could be in terms of monetary value that could probably get over thousands of health workers on payroll. Wasn't that troubling or concerning for the government to have initiated a probe? What did the government do? Ask the man to honorably resign, go freed, and the issue is now that perpetually. Okay. So away from that, you talked about the reactions from citizens at the Monrovia Central Prison. That was out of empathy and sympathy. I mean, Fina Corin, in her state of mind, psychologically, emotionally, physically, she's traumatized.
Okay, let me hold you there. Dave, let's hear you.
This young guy has a problem.
A serious
intellectual problem.
What is that?
No, why would you
You cannot be an intellectual deficit and you look at somebody.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Why would you just attack the man?
I'm sorry for that. But this is the issue.
But then you know that you cannot withstand my intellectual capability.
1 minute somewhere.
Okay, you won. Okay, you have won.
Off one open apology.
You have won. I apologize. You win again. But this is the point, Sabo. During your transitioning to this particular topic, your emphasis was too much on how people celebrating Finda's freedom from prison. And I'm wondering why that emphasis.
You don't provide your own opinion. You're attacking. Are you on a mission to attack people?
No.
Is that a mission information sending for?
No, Saba, I told you, I don't have nothing. The information minister, the ministers are my friends. I'm done work there.
But why are you always attacking people?
No. You see, that's my style of. I like to
intellectually.
I said to lay the premise. You have a society that celebrates criminals. And you talk about people celebrating. Why is it strange to you that people celebrate Fina from being free from prison? You have a society that celebrates criminals, that even vote for criminals to high positions in government. This is a society. This is a society that got in the street yesterday and saying, you came on mine, came on power, vote for you. Why are you surprised that people celebrate Fina? You're not noble, will vote for you as president. This is a society. So the crowd you saw over there at the Monrovia City Prison celebrating Fina's freedom from prison, it shouldn't be strange to you.
Oh, so that's
a society. Now, you come to hold me that. We don't talk here for almost 10, 15 minutes.
Innocent
You
Will.
did not interact. Even the mail deviated for the whole topic. You want a different thing. You did not set the checkpoint.
No,
You very sure of
no.
that?
You
The
did
man
not set the
didn't
checkpoint.
deviate.
Now
The man
you come
didn't
to me.
The man spoke about no, 1 minute. Maybe you were not
You know,
listening.
I will-
1 minute, maybe you're not listening. The man spoke about the cherry picking nature of the government corruption fight.
No, let me tell you,
Spoke
Saba,
about
this
He
is
made
cherry
reference.
picking.
Saba,
he made
I
reference-
mean, mother,
Saba,
the
Saba,
design-
Saba,
the-
Saba,
the-
so if you want to
So-
respond, you can respond to that.
So
No,
okay,
wait,
we can
no,
one minute,
respond to
one
that
minute,
without
one minute.
issue, I can
Saba,
respond to
one
it.
minute.
this is the point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look,
I was
this-
Wasn't
Yeah,
that
like
concerning to be investigated?
So this is the point, Saba. The justice system was not established or put in place to please people. It is to do the right thing. The responsibility of the justice system
Thank
is
you,
to
brother.
do the
Thank
right
you.
thing,
You'll go to law school.
not to please people. So if the justice system not going the way you expect, then it's faulty. Then it's not being right. That's absolutely wrong. I disagree with that. And now I'm talking about the FINA issue because your emphasis are on that. People celebrating FINA.
No, I see you spoke about that already.
Ah, okay.
Let's
No-
go to
no
let's go to
problem. I
let's
agree.
go to our legal mind.
I
Mr. Samuel,
agree.
let's hear you.
I saw just before you said that.
One minute, Mr. Sandy. Let's hear from Mr. Edwin Famule. I muted him.
The same thing the callers are complaining about the last time. We're still doing the same thing. We cross talking each other, we shouting. We
There are
doing
people
this.
here,
I think we
David
need to
and
be
the rest
civil.
of the other people.
I think we need to be civil because
Family-
there are a lot of
family
people,
get
there are a lot
people,
of
yeah.
decent people that turn to this show to listen to us. You know, and again, when we discussing a topic, let's stay off course. Let us stop going off tangent. If you don't understand something, if you don't have the historicity of something, you don't have to go into it to discuss it because at the end of the day, you just embarrass yourself. The former LTA boss went to court. He went to jail. His lawyer filed a bail bond for him. He was released. His case is still on the docket of the court. So why would somebody come and sit here and say XYZ now? The Finabono issue, a lot of people don't understand these things. And that's why I keep saying, if you don't understand it, when the topic comes out, people who understand it, let it speak, it will give you some level of education. Finabono issue is a constitutional issue. Article 21D2, it says that you cannot impose excessive fine or excessive punishment. So our legal team took advantage of that law. And once it has to do with fundamental right issue, when it goes before a justice at the Supreme Court, they have to automatically look at it.
Now let me ask you, Comrade. It's good that you are the lawyer. Who imposed the fine?
It is the state.
And the state comprises lawyers, right?
No. It is the court. It is the court.
The court granted. So if the 1 minute. So if the court knew that imposing excessive fines was a violation of a right, why did the court impose the fines?
So that is why that court is not a final arbiter. That is why there's another layer of the court. So if you feel that the decision of that court,
let me ask you, Mr. Lawyer. No, I'm coming. Yeah, no, you said it. You said it right. You said that's the reason why they have the Supreme Court to take an appeal. Now, the point is, weren't you guys taught in the school of law that you don't impose excessive fines?
Okay, so again, let me come back to you and say, it is a constitutional issue. The only people that have the authority to interpret constitutional issue is the Supreme Court.
Comrade, the question I ask you, you're not answering the question. No. If you guys sat in the school of law, you went to the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law, and they taught you there, don't impose excessive fines. And you were appointed as magistrate or appointed as judge. Why would you impose excessive fines?
So if it is imposed, it is left with the defense counsel to take a
Let me
view to
speak
the
to them.
Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court
No,
will
you're not
interpret
a
that
lawyer.
law.
Okay, go ahead,
Let me
comrade.
speak to that.
No, you are not a lawyer. I'm
I
speaking
must
to a
speak to
lawyer.
that
No, you
issue.
can speak to that.
I want to speak to that.
No, I can't allow you to speak like you're not a lawyer, comrade. I'm just speaking with a lawyer. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes,
Go, my
yes,
you are journalist, you are a lawyer.
Scared of me.
That
Go-
is
I
why
did
the
media
freedom-
law
No,
and
please,
ethics.
1 minute.
That is why the framework of our constitution says the Supreme Court is the final arbiter.
Okay, now
Even the
the
judges-
final question now, comrade.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Give me chance. Even if the judge erred, the judge is a human being. Sometimes the judge will not state the proper law. It gives the other lawyer the right to take an appeal to the Supreme Court.
Okay, granted. Let me ask you the last question. Before we can. So the fact that Finda and your lawyer had gone to Supreme Court, and let's assume the court rules and say, look, you have to reduce the fines because what you did was a violation of the rights. Can Finda and your lawyer file a lawsuit against the judge?
No.
Right.
The reason for that because the judge has a constitutional immunity. He cannot be questioned for any decision that he takes while sitting.
So even if his decision violated somebody's rights.
You can once it is within his authority as to what he's doing. You cannot. He's under constitutional immunity.
Okay.
You cannot sue him. No. Let me just come to this point where Moses said old days and because Finda is this. What the Justice in Chamber did was to place a hold on this process, ask the lower court to release Finda to a lawyer, ask the lower court to take Finda passport, and then call for a conference so that they would discuss it. Because in fact, Judge Kennedy asked a very good question. There are about 50 of them. Why is it only Finda is being asked to pay? Because they were indicted jointly. And based on the gravity of that crime, the bail bond is $8 million. Finda went to the court and said, I want to file a bond. So definitely, once they are not indicted separately, they are jointly, Finda will now have to come up with that $8 million. But again, Finda lawyer can file for a separate trial. To say I want my client to be tried separately.
Okay, comrade, thank you for
the education, my brother.
Thank you. No, Moses want to come in first. Moses, you can come in quickly.
I just want to answer the other day.
Moses, your line really bad tonight. A lot of feedback. Seriously.
Did I hear you say you want to ask me a question?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're breaking, coming in, going
Yes,
off.
go ahead, Moses.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I clear or you want me to come back?
No, go ahead.
No time. So just go ahead.
So, then I want to ask my brother David Tiger is a criminal. Because you said Nigerians celebrate criminals. Because they went to celebrate her. So my question to you is Finda Bondo a criminal? Can you please answer that?
I thought it was rhetorical. But if you want me to answer that, I can say yes, she is a suspected criminal.
The guy likes to fight.
Someone being accused of a crime. I'm not a lawyer. Family can call back. He can speak to them. Someone accused of a crime, that does not mean that the person is a criminal.
I said suspected criminal.
So until the person is tried and convicted. So if you had used the word that Liberians on and celebrating suspected criminals, then you would be right. But you are
I cited examples. I cited examples, Moses. I cited examples.
It's the fact that you were very definitive.
And I cited examples.
Let's stop there. It's a Taylor criminal help is celebrated in this country. A lot of people
celebrate people.
Okay.
That made it
All right, gentlemen, let's move ahead.
Yeah.
Let's move ahead. We'll have to transition quickly because we don't have time. Like we said, we didn't come with a vehicle today. We have to get keke to find our way back. Now, and Moses, let me begin with you on this one because you are on currently. We are seeing reactions, gentlemen, and I mean listening to reactions and reading, reactions in the papers and online, reactions to Samuel Tuer plan retrial, and some of the reactions want to think that they are almost like beating drum of violence. We listen to the former minister of maritime, commissioner, the former commissioner. He was on a local radio, and he said, "Well, we are going to use all means to our disposal to avert Tuer from being harassed continuously." And besides, I listened to a local talk show, a journalist who promotes the coalition, and he said, when I read his
what's her name? What's her name? You call Eugene's name. You talk about Eugene.
Please, 1 minute.
His name does not matter to the conversation.
Please, David.
You are a journalist, David.
Damn it, man. Where you learn journalism from?
From Grant. From Grant.
And he said that the action he said the action of the government suggests an ingredient of war. So the reactions are getting very awful, in another word. Now, let me ask you, Moses, do you think those reactions that we continue to receive and hear, reactions to Samuel Tuer plan, retrial, or whatever it is, do you think those reactions are proper for keeping the peace of the country? What's your reading to all those reactions?
Well, look, people react to situations differently, but what I can tell you is that the reactions indicate that people are discontented, people are not pleased. And that's what happens when the judiciary is a weapon. And that's what this administration is doing. Weaponizing the judiciary, being selective in the enforcement of the laws of the country. War law. If you come from unity party, when people in the government, when they misrepresent the truth, different. When you come from opposition, they treat you different. Of course, you're going to have polarized society. That's what happened in South Africa.
Okay, let me hold you there. Let's hear from you, William.
So, there is one key responsibility of opposition political parties. And that responsibility, I am not quite sure that the party can make the safety of its members vulnerable. I'm not too sure that is part of the responsibility of any political party. It is the core functionalities of any political institution, especially those in the opposition, to protect and defend the sanity and what we call like the fulcrum, by the way, of the political institution. So I listened to Mr. Nangbe, the former information minister. He said, if I describe former finance minister Samuel Tuer as one of their integral members, in fact, one of their founding members of the party. So such a man in the CDC is not just an ordinary man. And then that is why I see all on the Facebook posts, you see different reactions about people, trying to say, "Oh, we'll stand by him, we'll stand." And mind you, Sabo, all of those reactions, do not necessarily suggest that there is going to be war that will be, engineered by the CDC. I'm not too sure that is the interpretation of those reactions. What I do know, and which is unarguable, is the fact that the CDC, as a registered duty political institution in Liberia, they have that responsibility to protect and stand in the defense of the partisans, and they also have their right to exercise their power constitutionally, and that power can also be as part of writing ECOWAS. Don't forget. So when they speak the way they speak, I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, maybe they're going to try to create war and this and blah blah blah." They are saying that the actions of the government allegedly may generate or may plunge the country into the dark days, which they are claiming. That's the argument. I don't really believe.
Okay, so let me hold you there. Dave, let's hear you quickly.
As far as I do know, there are elements of the CDC who making these comments, and as far as I'm concerned, their comments do not represent the entire CDC, because the CDC as a political institution does not come up with an official statement to talk about Liberia being plunged into another round of war because of the decision taken against Samatua. These are views of
the issue that you did.
Wait now, Becky, sir. These are views. These are EV views of Abraham Wayon and maybe any other person.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm surprised that Moses, as a mental health expert, did not mention the issue of the psychological effect that people still suffering as a result of the last elections, the outcome of the last elections. People that stay paranoid. The fact that they expected to have wanted to win, whatever they were enjoying, that was taken away from them. And that is still annoying. And so sometimes
let me hold you there. You spoke already.
They can be emotionally charged. They can be emotionally charged.
I can't be stopping you still talking. That's violation of my rights. Let's hear from you.
That's a right, but of the established rule.
Let's hear from you.
When we are talking, gain a lot of time.
We don't have
that's just you, David.
Let's hear you.
Wow.
There's nobody in Liberia when it comes to our most recent past, when it comes to violent conflict. We let it go back there. And I don't want to believe that. I believe that Mr. Nangbe, all of the things they're saying are political rhetorics. Matters in court is legal issue. If they feel rights violation, ECOWAS code is there, Mr. Wion said. But ECOWAS code has limitation when it comes to the country's constitution. They don't just easily override. Like, for example, what happened to Kabina Jane. And, so something like that, it can come because it's a rights were violated. So this matter, if it goes to ECOWAS code, I believe that we'll be looking at our laws. We'll be looking at how to call it precedent cases or whatsoever. Looking at it in law. So if Minister Tue is called today to come to court, or is someone today go to court, he'll go to court. He's not that type of person that has been part of the violent wing of the militant wing of kind of behavior. So all those things.
Mr. Famula, let's hear you quickly. We can open the lines briefly. Mr. Famula? It seems that he's off. All right, so let's open the lines quickly. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Let Mr. Famula speak his mind quickly for just 30 seconds. Yeah, let's hear you.
Yes, sir. Let me just correct Mr. William quickly. And I beg you, don't say anywhere again. There is nowhere in the world where political parties have the right to protect their citizens. It is the constitutional responsibility of the state to protect every citizen, irrespective of which political party you are from or foreign national within your territories. So don't say that anywhere again. That's a misinformation. That is why when political parties are going for rally, they apply to the Ministry of Justice and the state security. They don't form their own security.
All right. You made a point. Let's take a call quickly. Let's take our calls. Quickly, comrade. Let's hear you.
I'm amazed that.
Thank you, Google. Let me say thanks to the panelists for the brilliant cross-examination of cross-coordination of national issues. For the recognition for the public and focused Robert. I join you this evening for our unknown destination. People I like the way my other senior brother stated, and he make it very categorically. This issue, it just bring the judge or integrity and credibility to the public in certain form and manner that is not good. They see it very clear. Because they see judge, don't make a leave that place not beg you a free work for them. There was no juror that any follow any crime. And that particular day, the day for the conclusion, there was no juror that follow any crime. So when the judge told two other leader bench, 2 hours 7:30, the judge reiterated.
Okay.
The judge was testified. He reiterated. When because of self-aggrandizement, pleasement, then he come again and bring integrity to the public that is very wrong.
Okay.
And we for the city will protect the 12 to the 40 as our party said.
Okay, many thanks. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793 or 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. That's the number to call. You are live. That caller went off. 0778-460-793. Let's get this caller quickly. Your name?
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
From Broadway.
Okay.
Yes. I want to find out something from the panelists in there. If the case was put into a court and the person decides, maybe the person won the case and the person steps free, maybe the evidence that is needed, government needed to prosecute the person or to hold them guilty, they were not found. Then later on, the evidence is found that the government will look and they found that evidence. Will the person be brought back for investigation or not? That's what I want to understand.
Okay. Maybe our legal man will respond to that. Let's get another call in line quickly. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Mr. Joy. Good evening to the panel. Aliu Padikumai, my picking family are calling for a running car with Joshua.
Okay.
You know, let me commend you for the program and also commend the government for the last 2 to 3 weeks. The fire will put behind the government when it comes to the jobs being easy. I always said to Mr. Joe, the way the government fighting jobs, Ilaha Manaseli and former President Joe, we are going to fight job, but now we are going far with the fight against jobs in this country. You guys can remember when the government came to power newly. You see, most of our brothers they used to be on the street, see that full time with cloth. Today, we are seeing in 2 years going to 3 years, we no more see cloth on a very full. We need to see our brother all on the street, making street, carry street, the cannon street. All they used to be sleeping with our head. Today, you part of somebody place it, the way you seen it before, you're not seeing it. We are not saying everything is rosy, but at least they try not. And I just want we the citizens will continue pushing the government to see how best so that we'll be able to get good results from it.
Okay, you made your point. Let's get another call in line. Hello, let's hear you. Yes, sir.
Josh, this is Osei Onganon, and I call from the GMB and JG Dream for Better Foundation.
Okay.
Along the UP Intellectual Bureau headquarters in Dole community. I think we are going under one constitution that protects us clearly with no disparity. For the CDC, as Chief of Officer to ex-field President George Weah to come out to challenge the judiciary that the CDC will protect Samuel Tuer if invited for further, investigation on the jury temporary and of a case surrounding his financial misapplication. I think it's quite troubling in this country. If we must entrust CDC anymore to cover this country, I don't think they are prepared to protect the constitution of this country. The issue of justice has no boundary. Okay, in fact, the judge is trying to even help them because they temper with the judge. They temper with the judge, and the jurors. They temper with the juror, and the juror came out to Atlanta. People were temper with. Why would they say they will rescind the judiciary system of this country? I mean, it's a war that they declare on this country.
Okay, all right. Let's take a look at it quickly. Let's hear you.
Yes.
All right, you gotta lower the volume of the radio. Hello. Okay, the person's not ready. 0778. We'll take 3 more calls and wrap it up quickly. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460-793 or 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. That's the number to call, and you are live on the Nighttime Heat. Let's take this caller quickly. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
So this is Joseph Do. I call from Monrovia. Look,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Frankly speaking, your show is an important show.
Mm-hmm.
But when I want to say in this format, man, that when you are discussing certain issues, invite the professionals.
Okay.
Invite the professionals. Then the listening audience will appreciate the show more.
Mm-hmm.
You invited a couple of journalists who knew absolutely nothing about the intricacy of responding of a security authority responding to a press conference or an interview at a particular point in time. Look, the security people have the right to respond or not to respond to questions from journalists or from audience. Sometimes they respond at a time could plunge the country in chaos or maintain the sanity of a nation. So it was purely at the purview of the Justice Minister to respond or not to respond. So going forward, please, when you are discussing certain sensitive issues, invite professionals in that area to discuss it.
Okay.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, let's hear you quickly.
Call from the Mama governments, just say Yema Buaka governments, they want to push the others to the wall because they get locking people off without reason. Seriously. So if they more have it in mind that the administration they are ruling will finish in 2029, we're going to cash them out. But if, let me give them a reminder, if they sucker, even the eating in a pain, that would be for governments. That will order them and it will be prosecuted. And meaning the comb, which is the speaker of this country, will be prosecuted for using his power on his people, leaving the other people and doing other different things around the countries.
Okay.
So we are ready for 2029 to catch them out because they are not serious for this country. They are
okay. All right. Let's take the last caller quickly. Let's hear you.
Morris Cable calling from people community, member of the UP Intelligence Bureau.
Okay.
I think all of us want justice in this country. But if other people feel that this government is going after certain people and they feel that they will come back to honor man, the very justice system that they're fighting to come and serve, I think it's wrong. This government is trying to build a foundation for everybody. There is nowhere in this country that will see wish on. If there's anybody that is taken to court, you are not guilty. And nobody will put crown on your head freely and just go free. If you are not guilty, you will be set free. If you are guilty, you will serve the penalty. That gives the justice system the chance to exercise its right over all of us. Thank you.
Okay, let's take the last caller. Anybody calling here, I'll not take you. You the last here. Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you, Joy. This is Ed Moka. I am proud member of Concerned Librarian for Justice.
Okay.
So the question that we are asking, if we will argue that there was juror tampering, do you hold Samuel Chua responsible? Who are in charge of security? The government of Liberia is in charge of the security and to the place where they were keeping the juror. Before they would enter to begin their work, they were thoroughly checked. So if investigation go on and they come to realize that somebody took phone in there, are we going beyond Samuel Chua to investigate those are the guys that were assigned to the juror before they come to court? The court chair, the court bearer will bring them to court and take them back to their place where they were located.
Okay.
And you come to file phone.
All right.
Then who is responsible?
All right. Thank you. You made a point. Gentlemen, let's go around the table quickly. 30 seconds. I'll pass the comment.
So I will close with this. To Mr. Famule. I mean, that was clear enough that basically you never understood what I said, and I cannot blame you either. Apparently, legal issues are probably, have placed you at a disadvantage of understanding how political parties work and what are some of the responsibility of political parties. I did not say that it is the responsibility of political parties to protect the lives of citizens. No, it is required that every political party has a role to play in terms of the safety of its members. Okay, and that is why every political party, especially those ones in oppositions, they do not rely heavily on the protection of state security. They also treat their men. You know why? Because they are confronting the state.
Okay, let me go you there, Dave. Quickly.
Yeah, I think that caller meant to say they'll cast the UP out in 2029, not cash them out. And the other thing again is that instead of, look, people who have problem with the decision of the court or revisiting or retrying some or two, those who have problem with that can challenge that also in the same court, using the same justice system rather than threatening the security of the state.
Okay. Chief, listen.
Well, I wanted to just close on this. It was a good show. I think we're able to give the differences between press statement, press briefing, and press conference. All right. The Justice Minister, the Deputy Minister announced that the Justice Minister was giving a press statement. So there was no need for cautioning.
Okay.
That was clear. Additionally, the last caller. Let me say this really. Let me clarify this to you. You say you're fighting for justice. You cannot be fighting for justice, then you condemning the law. All right? Because that's the law you use to get justice. You don't need to be political. If you form political group in immediate justice, that's a business. But actually, the jury temporary issue, the whole jury going for trial. They're not just put in jail for nothing. The additional case outside of Mr. Tue's case, they're going for trial. They will try them. The evidence showed that what they did for the Georgia investigation showed that what they did.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, Moses. Your pattern commentary second.
Yeah, this was really a great show. But I'd just like to add, in this room, also everyone was there. When you come on the show, you talk about anything that has to do with mental health. If I'm sitting there, you have to be available. I'm my brother to me, one and
Okay. All right, Moses, thank you. Thank you. Let's try to recognize some of our viewers quickly. Finishers, Junior Bay, always watching. Honorable Papi Success Keita, I was watching. Abraham Kali Amachu, I was watching. David Lavella, Daniel Lavella, I was watching. Henry Ntier, I was watching for Nimba. Daniel Tante, I was watching. Imaya Bro from the US, Ophelia George at home. Brian VN, I was watching. Melvin Nassan Roosevelt, I was watching from Zedru. Bole in Gaza, I was watching from Cinco. And the rest of you, we can call all of the names. Until then, Saba George is my name. Join us tomorrow for another fascinating edition of the program.